Hi guys, just a quick video. Firstly, I want to say, when I came down on Friday, it was just an absolute pleasure to meet all of you. It was, for me, it was, it's always a bit intimidating trying to speak in public, but you made me feel very comfortable, so for that I'm very grateful. A couple of things. I'm going to do these videos on YouTube. Now, if I sent you individual MP4 files, you'd be half an hour downloading them. So I'll upload them to YouTube, but I won't put in any personally identifiable information. But I will use your first names. But other than that, we'll try and keep it, because there is always the chance that the public could watch them. Now, if they do, that's fine, but we don't want any personal information there. Now, there's a couple of things I'll follow up on straight away. It's Sunday afternoon, but don't feel sorry, Sunday evening, but don't feel sorry for me. I live very close, and all my video gear's here at work. But I haven't tidied my office, I haven't combed my hair, so you just bear with me. First thing I want to do is I want to talk to... Remember I talked about crafting a story, and that was part A, and then there was the follow-up. The follow-up is where the money is, and so that's where your money is, and ultimately that's where my money is. So just a big shout out to Julie, who was the story about Keppel Island. I mean, Keppel Island by any accounts is a prestige account. To get anything in there is a remarkable achievement, and to have to make so many callbacks is exactly the point I was making. You didn't get it at the meet and greet, you didn't get the business on the first or second call, third call, but perseverance and keeping that up is good. So great work, Julie. Now, a couple of other little things with now Susie. We talked about, when I was a kid and we used to go roo shooting and pig hunting and all the rest, we had boxes which were like refrigerated, what would you call them, just cold rooms that we used to take them to. Now, when you said you needed something for the shop, people were asking. I've made something here quickly, but I don't know what to call it. I was going to call it box cleaner, and it will satisfy all the food grade requirements, and I'll put that on, as long as they follow the directions on the label. So, Susie, if you wouldn't mind getting back to me and just tell me what you'd like to call it, that might be more descriptive. You know, I don't know if you want to call it like food van cleaner or... But we'll keep it descriptive. We won't call it Blitz, you know, the food. We'll just call it either food van cleaner or... But I want you to tell me what to call it. But other than that, it's ready to go. And when you give me the name, I'll print a label and I'll come back with the story of the van cleaner. So that's another thing. Bree, now I'll have a bit of a look around. I understand that you're fairly new. And you're probably fairly new to sales as well as fairly new to where you are now. So I'll have a bit of a look around Bundaberg and see if I can just point you in a direction with the customers. I mean, you know, I don't set the agenda at where you are at all. That's really, I'm here to help with the chemical side. I can help with all the chemical side, not just industrial. Anything you need help with, I can help you with. You know, ultimately, Chris will set the direction, and he'll set the direction based on what Jan lays out as the direction for the company. So, Chris is the guy who will have to facilitate everything. I mean, I can give you advice and help and point you in a certain direction. But if I'm wrong, I just say, oops, that was wrong. But yeah, it's a bit different for Chris. He could give you the wrong advice and lose his job. So Chris will try and keep it together. The one thing I would try and advise is that, and again, I don't work for you guys. I'm just keen on seeing you go well. But ultimately, if you can have targets. Now, companies don't often set sales targets. They did where I worked at Applied. I had a sales target I had to meet every month, It was pretty hard edge. I had to explain if I didn't, and I got very little thanks if I did meet the target. But companies don't set targets because they don't want to discourage people if they don't get them. Now, I think targets are good to work for. Just to give you a bit of an idea, the company doesn't have to set you a target. You can set yourself a personal target. And your personal target might be, it might not be in dollar terms, but it might be, right, I'm going to open one account a month for the rest of the year. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 7 people, at the end of a year, that's 84 new accounts in a year. Now, that's great. And another thing is, like, being in sales is fantastic. I mean, you're at the very hard end at the moment where you've basically got price as your main bartering point, and like you pointed out to me, there's also the range, the availability, but that calls for a different set of skills to what I'm talking about. But it just reminds me that, you know the story yourself. If you owe the bank $1 million, you've got a problem. But if you owe the bank $100 million, they've got a problem. And just to put some of that in perspective, if you're bringing in $100,000 a year in sales, you're pretty much being told what to do. You start bringing $1 million a year in sales, and that'd be a challenge, but it'd be a challenge I'd hope you'd roll your eyes to, like it's going to be great. You bring in $1 million in sales and the tables flip. Now you're telling them what to do, and you're setting the agenda, and believe me, no one's going to argue with me. You become the boss. So I don't know if that'll motivate or scare you, but it'd be nice to see you all aim for $1 million a year. I don't think it's too hard, but there you go. That's just me. So again, I'll wrap up because it is Sunday Ave, and I've got a few things in mind, a few little opportunities straight away. I just haven't got time at the moment because I want to go to bed. But I've got, don't forget, Susie, get back to me with a name for this product. Once again, shout out to Julie. Great work. And everyone, talk to Julie if you're worried, how did you keep going back and back and back and back? Fantastic stuff. Graham, Ivan, I didn't get much of a chance to talk to you. Of course, Brooke, I talked to him, Mackay, but Bree, you've got a bit of a challenge down there, but I'll try and help you with it. And that's about it. If you need help from me, you can call me. I see Jan's given my mobile and email address. You can call me. It doesn't have to be about industrial. You can call me. If, I've got a bloke in the shop looking for this. What do you think? And I'll be happy to answer. But that's it for now. Again, it was great to meet you, and I hope we talk again soon. Thanks very much.